Your goals are a part of your story. To protect your story, you need to be aware of distractions and learn how to avoid them, as well as discover the steps to take to get back on track. Maybe you've been distracted by a video game and didn't do your homework, or maybe you got distracted by a post on socials and didn't get enough sleep. It's crucial for you to be aware of these distractions and learn the strategies to manage them effectively, allowing you to stay focused. If you aren't aware of the distractions, then you don't know how to avoid them. You've already done so much work writing out your goals and creating an action plan. Let's make that work count and get ahead of the distractions that can easily derail you.
I'd say friends and family, because there's internal and external distractions or obstacles, and I guess distractions has such a negative meaning behind it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad things. I mean, I would never call my son a distraction, but he could be a distraction if I'm trying to do homework.
Right.
So obstacles, I guess, is more the better term, but sometimes you gotta learn to say no, and I see it way too often. Overcommitting yourself. How am I going to, study and go to work and take care of my responsibilities, but I've also got to go see, so and so because I promised them we'd be at this barbecue this weekend, and then I have dinner with so and so. Trying to keep everybody happy, and you have to learn how to say no and manage your time, because you also need time for yourself as well, because you can't just be all work and no play, and you need to not be distracted from your self-care as well. But I think that there's a lot of people who don't understand that, and it makes it hard to tell people no. And it causes friction in relationships, and that's why it's so stressful, going through schools, jobs, marriages, any walk of life. It's stressful to have to keep yourself at the forefront and prioritize you and your family, or whatever your dynamic is, prioritize those goals and keep distractions away.
Being in a relationship,
Thank you. Yeah, relationship drama can.
especially a toxic one.
Yeah.
And most of the times when you're searching for love, like even if it is toxic, you can't tell.
Yeah.
So you kind of just morph into this new person because you're morphing into what they love or what they want because you want to love and reassure them. So it's just bad.
Yeah.
And you can spend all your money on them. You can get into more debt. Yeah.
Especially like with the relationship, like he said, you're pouring in money, you're pouring in time, you're pouring in effort, and it like becomes like a focal point in your life, and you're not really thinking about anything else. And then like you become blind to a lot of things about that person. And like he said, sometimes you don't even notice it's a toxic relationship when
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And so it can be very distracting for sure.
Here are some top distractions that might keep you from achieving your goals. Technology overload. Spending excessive time on social media platforms, video games, or streaming services can divert your focus. You're getting endless notifications. You've got the fear of missing out. And then there's peer pressure. Relationship drama and pressure from your friends can steer you away from your goals and tempt you to engage in unproductive or even harmful activities. Maybe you've got academic demands. Those excessive academic pressures and heavy schoolwork can leave little time and energy for pursuing personal goals. And then family responsibilities. Sometimes family obligations or responsibilities can interfere with your ability to allocate time and effort to your goals. And then there's family issues. Any kind of instability at home can cause stress and anxiety, making it difficult to stay on track. There's also the fear of failure. The fear of not succeeding or facing setbacks may discourage you from taking risks and pursuing ambitious goals. If you have a lack of support where those who are closest to you don't encourage you, it might hinder your motivation. A big one is instant gratification. There's this lure of immediate rewards, and it can make it difficult to stay committed to long-term goals. Now, there's also negative self-talk. A negative mindset or low self-esteem can undermine your belief in your abilities, making you more susceptible to distractions. So, working from the list of the most common types of distractions, you can go ahead and include any others that come to mind. Use the space provided to write down a simple step that you can take to avoid being derailed. See, I'm easily distracted by the lure of vegging in front of the television. Every time I talk myself into watching it just for a minute because I need a brain break, I end up binging and I waste a ton of time. So, I don't turn on the television until I've achieved all the goals, big and little, for the day. I also don't keep any electronics in my room so I can actually sleep. Please don't be too hard on yourself. Life is constantly throwing us curveballs, and sometimes we get hit with a distraction that we have no control over. What you need to figure out is what you can control. You have the freedom to readjust. Just don't give up. So here's your truth tip for the day. Keeping your goals a priority will help you identify and get ahead of the distractions that threaten your ability to thrive. Remember, your goals matter. Take a moment to answer these 2 questions. What is something you've learned today that you didn't know before? What is something you are going to do as a result of what you learned?